Coordinated, episode 238, A Winning Hand.
Greetings, AP coordinators. Derek Cometa here, Senior Director, AP Coordinator Experience for the AP program and former AP Coordinator.
And I'm Carly Suge, School Counselor and AP Coordinator.
Thanks for joining us. This is Monday, August 26, 2024. And I think we have a real winner today. It is not too often when playing cards that a pair of anything is the winning hand. However, with the right strategy, who knows? So today we have a pair of best practices sure to be the winning combination for AP coordinators. And that makes this the place to be to hear all the latest and greatest in the world of AP coordinators.
It's time to flip over the cards and show our winning hand. It's time to collect here on Coordinated.
Good morning, Carly.
Good morning, Derek. I'm so curious. It sounds like you have a pair of aces waiting to play.
I think we do. A great pair of best practices to share, good for both new and experienced AP coordinators.
Okay, well, let's go then. What's on your mind today?
So this school year, you may have heard, is going to be a pretty big one for schools and AP. Mandatory digital testing for many AP subjects. I know you. How did you say it, Carly?
I dipped my toes in the digital testing waters last May. We did some digital testing at my school, but honestly, not a lot, just enough to test the waters.
And how are you feeling about it now? How did digital testing go for you?
To be honest, pretty good, yet still a little nervous. Can I be both at the same time?
Absolutely. I think that makes perfect sense. And I'd guess that you are probably not alone in feeling that way. Digital testing using the Blue Book app is on the minds of many AP coordinators.
Hey, before we go there, maybe it would be good to start the conversation back at the beginning. Like, what is Blue Book?
Good idea. Let's see, where can we start here? Blue Book is the testing app students use to take exams. The app must be installed on student devices before exam day, and students can access test preview questions in the app, and they can try out the tools in advance as well.
Right. And we, AP coordinators, can learn much more about Blue Book and Test Day Toolkit at cb.org/AP-digital. That's cb.org/AP-digital. Link is in the show notes. That's the hub of information on digital testing for this school year. A great site to bookmark and revisit often. I know I will be. I've heard that there's going to be a series of informative webinars to guide us throughout the school year.
You heard correctly. And yes, great tip there. Please visit and bookmark that webpage. I have a feeling it's going to come in very handy this school year. Okay, Blue Book and Test Day Toolkit. So, I think I should backtrack one more time and just quickly mention that Test Day Toolkit is the web application that coordinators and proctors use to prepare for digital testing. They also use it to take attendance, to read the script, and to provide students with the codes that the students will enter in Blue Book. Okay, so back on track now. Blue Book and Test Day Toolkit are both used on exam day. We know this. Now, earlier this summer, back in episode 230, we had a great conversation with assistant principal and AP coordinator, Pamela LaVangie. And during that chat, Pam shared something related to this that caught our eye, or maybe I should say our ear. In fact, We thought it was such a good idea that we invited Pam back one more time. And so, welcome back to Coordinated, Pam.
So good to be back. Thanks for having me. I went from never being on a podcast to twice in the same summer, so I'm on a roll.
Absolutely. And thanks for making the time again. I know you have already started the school year down in Cobb County, Georgia. Busy times.
Busy times indeed. The start of the school year is always a little fun and crazy. This year is going to be no exception.
So, Pam, in the previous conversation, you mentioned kind of on the side that you did not do any digital AP testing last year. However, you feel pretty confident about digital testing. Number one, because of the preparation your school district has done. But number two, you also did a little preparation of your own related to PSAT. Do you remember that?
I do. So I was just saying that because my school hosted the PSAT, I was able to see Blue Book and Test A Toolkit in action. These are the same apps and tools for PSAT and AP. And I not only shadowed our PSAT coordinator on that day, but I was hands-on in assisting. That included setting up the classrooms with extra chargers, monitoring the technology help rooms, and even problem solving with any Blue Book or other challenges that came up. It was a great learning experience for me going into digital AP exams this year. And Derek, as an added bonus, my PSAT coordinator is going to return the favor when we have our first digital AP exams this year.
Oh my gosh, how awesome. I love hearing all that. And yes, that is a nice little bonus there. Good to have your PSAT coordinator, somebody who already sort of knows the digital testing ropes. Good to have that person returning the favor. That's got to help your confidence level.
Oh, absolutely. I'm the AP coordinator, but I'm not the PSAT coordinator. However, I know that at a lot of schools, that person is one and the same.
And it sounds like you're referring to me with that, Pam. I am both the AP coordinator and the PSAT coordinator. But I love this idea too. If your school hosts the PSAT in October and you are not the PSAT coordinator, it's time to make friends if you haven't already done so. It sounds like a great opportunity to shadow, to see how they are doing things, and to see what Blue Book and Test Day Toolkit looks like on exam day. I love that.
Question. I hate to be that guy, but Pam, what would you recommend if your school does not host PSATs?
Well, that's a good question. I'd say in that case, it's worth the time and effort to make some new connections. See if you can find someone in your district who is hosting PSAT, or even someone outside of the district, but in your nearby geographical area. It might be even a good time to volunteer to proctor. No one turns that down, right? And you get a chance to see everything in action, which I know from my experience is so valuable.
As we are talking about this, I'm thinking that we should also mention one big difference between PSAT and AP, something that we should point out, and that is how students sign into their exam.
Yeah, that's a good point. So for PSAT, students sign in to their digital exam using a ticket that's printed out in advance by the PSAT coordinator. But then for AP, students sign in using their email and password from their College Board student account. So it's critical that they know that information on exam day. It doesn't do them any good to have it written down on their phone because
cell phones aren't allowed in the exam room, of course. Yes, that is a great point. I had that happen a couple times last May. Ugh.
That's one reason why it's great if your AP teachers are frequently using AP Classroom. Your students should know their login information if they're accessing AP Classroom all the time. It's not the reason to use AP Classroom, but it's a nice side benefit to us AP coordinators.
Excellent points. So I think we started out with one best practice to share, mission accomplished, but we have a pair.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. So best practice number one, preview, Blue Book, Test Day Toolkit, and the entire digital testing process on exam day by shadowing the administration of a PSAT exam. And don't just shadow, be active and get hands-on experience. 100% worth the time and effort, in my opinion.
And best practice number 2, work with your AP teachers to ensure that students know how to log in to their student accounts. They'll need their email address and password for their College Board student account, and confirm this in advance of test day. Keywords there, in advance. Last year, it seemed like this was the number one challenge on exam day for AP coordinators. It certainly was for me. A few students simply didn't remember how to access their student account and could not start their exam. Boo. That is not the way things are supposed to go.
No, definitely not. Thanks for the heads up on that, Carly. That one's definitely going on my to-do list for sure.
Hey, Pam, thanks again for making the time. Again, we appreciate it. Love the pair of best practices, great tips, winning tips. And hey, good luck with the new school year.
Oh, thank you. And good luck to you too, and Carly as well. It's going to be an exciting school year.
Yes, exciting is just one of the many words I can think of in the moment. And speaking of, I think it's time right now for our coordinated podcast call to action. What do you say, Carly?
I say, AP coordinators, please consider the idea about shadowing PSAT test administration. There's nothing like seeing digital testing in action for yourself. And also, please take to heart the reminder about doing whatever you can to ensure students can access their College Board student accounts with an email and password. That will make starting the exam so much easier. And besides, it's never too early to start planning for exam day. Never too early to get, coordinated.
Thanks, everyone, for joining the conversation today. Thanks again to our special return guest, Pamela LaVangie in Cobb County, Georgia. And thanks to you, Carly, as well. Hey, next week we have a new topic to share. We are all familiar with the initials AP. Next week, we jump in to learn more about 2 different letters, CK.
Well, I suspect you don't mean Calvin Klein, so I'm already curious. Until then, fellow AP coordinators, for all our continued support of AP students. Yep, our support. AP coordinators, we are truly good as gold.
Just don't know. I'll say it over and over and over again till I believe it's so. I'm good as gold.
AP coordinators, despite your best intentions, did you miss out on the AP Coordinator Back to School Workshop?
Fear not. The Back to School Workshop is now available on YouTube.
That's right. And we have 2 on-demand videos available. One for new AP coordinators and one for those with a little more experience.
Or watch them both.
Great idea. Check out the show notes for a link to the videos.
Or you can go to collegeboard.org/AP Coordinator Experience. That's collegeboard.org/AP Coordinator Experience.
Get your popcorn ready. This is one more summer blockbuster you won't want to miss.